Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 76. Now, before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. All right, so we start the episode off with Vernon on a phone call with Madison, and she's giving him the results of the lab work that she did for him, and he's thanking her for for just with everything. He's thanking her. So Anita walks in and she hears this and she wonders why he's so happy. He tells her he was worried because he was forgetting things and he got tested. And so Anita was like, wait, what? So he tells her, he was he was forgetful and he didn't want to bring it up to her because she's been going through everything, and she's just like, she was telling him like, she didn't like that he kept that from her, and he explains why, and then she explains why he shouldn't have, because if she would have known, then she would have fought harder so that she can make sure that she's there for him. So they talk it out. They're okay. They make plans. He apologized and they call each other their peace. So then they say that, they make plans to travel somewhere with a lot of sun after they leave New Orleans, and they both say Mallorca. She then, I can't remember if he told her before or after this, but I think he told her before they said about the plans to travel, because he tells her that the what it was he had low vitamin D. That was why he was forgetting things, and because again he's been taking care of Anita, he hasn't been doing the things that he would normally do and do the things that would help him with his vitamin D, like his walks, getting out in the sun. And this is when they were just like, after New Orleans, we'll go to a place that has a lot of sun, and that's when they say Mallorca. So we see Smitty. He meets Martin at the club, and he wonders why Martin is very cagey. So Martin tells him that about his run for Senate, and Smitty doesn't like it. And then he also doesn't like it when he finds out all the people who does know about it, who knew about it before him, and he gets pissed or whatever. Martin says he's not going to go back to his old ways, and he's not going to go back to his old ways, but this is something that he has to do. And then Smitty realizes, so you're going to do this regardless. And Martin says he doesn't know why, he doesn't know who he would be without this. And Smitty is just like upset about it, because it's just like, sir, like, you put me on a back burner. You made me sit out my career so that you could further yours. And now that it's my turn to further my career, now you want to go further more. So now I'm going to have to go back on the back burner again. So it's just like, it's always been you. Like, we've always put your, like Martin had said, like, your whole relationship, he's always put your wants above his. And now you told, I forgot who he told, but I think was it Nicole? I can't remember who he told, but he was just like saying, how would he look stopping him from doing what he wants, when Smitty has always been in his corner to do what he wanted, to make sure that Martin got to do what he wanted, and now you're about to do the exact same thing. And it's just like, sir. So Smitty gets a text from Jacob, and he says he has to go or whatever. And Martin mentions, so you can keep secrets, but I can't. And Smitty says, they should finish this at home or whatever. So he gets up to leave. We see, and mind you, in the beginning of their conversation, sorry. So okay, so we see Martin and we see not Martin. We see Vanessa and Joey there at the club, and she's gushing over them being partners, about being his partner. She tells him that she wants to be his partner in every aspect of his life. So again, she wants to be that mob wife. Um, Okay, so again, we see Vanessa and Joey, and they're at the club, and Vanessa is talking about how she's so happy to be his partner and she wants to be his partner in every aspect of his life. She wants to be the mob wife, of course. He's just like, yeah, nah, not trying to do that right now, especially don't want to talk about that here. She's just like, trying to get, she wants to be that mob wife. So she's trying to do whatever she can do to get into that life or whatever. And he tells her, he wants her to bring stuff over to the house and make the place as her own. So she was just like, he's just like, bring some stuff over and keep it there. And she was just like, okay, cool, I'll be back. And he's just like, wait, where are you going? And she was just like, oh, I have some errands to run, and then I'll see you back at the house or whatever. So again, um they had that conversation, and then he goes into the club, and he sees Martin and Smitty, and they're having their discussion, and he like slow he overhears a little bit of what they're talking about, but not all of it. So he once Smitty had left, Joey came over to Martin, and he offers Martin help, and saying, I know he said he doesn't want security, but I can have somebody follow him without him knowing. And Martin's just like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that or whatever. So Martin leaves. We see, let's see. We see Vanessa. She is at Vernon and Anita's. She comes over and she brings Anita a planner from this place, and it's like a really nice planner. Anita's happy about it. She mentions her relationship with Joey, and Vernon leaves so that they can talk. Anita thinks that Anita wants to talk to her about Nicole's dating life, but Anita wants to talk to her about her dating life. And she tells her, um, she just, she gives her a little pep talk, semi sort of, not really, but Vanessa, she makes her stance clear on Joey and them being partners. And Anita tells her, um, I'll leave it alone, and just, watch your back and your front, and I'm gonna let you be. So she leaves, and then we see her back at Joey's place, and she had brought some trinkets over or whatever. So, that's how their storyline ends. So we see Anita and Vernon. After Vanessa leaves, Anita and Vernon are I'm sorry, Anita is writing in her planner, and she's like marks a date like off in the future with a big old heart, and he's just like, oh, what's that for? And she's just like, oh, this is when we can get back to we can get back to us. And he was just like, oh, I can't wait. And then they kiss or whatever. So let's see. All right, so the big stuff. All right, so we see, let me start here. uh let's see, we see Ren. He rolls up on Jacob, and he tells him, I told you that somebody was going to pay, but I didn't tell you who. And he says, your buddy Grayson. And we see Jacob's phone is, ringing, and it's Grayson, but he doesn't answer it. Ren asked him, "You gonna answer that?" And Jacob is just like, "Nah, I'm gonna put the phone on silent, and the phone's now on silent, just like me." Jacob says he heard what he said, and he understood, and he's gonna be quiet. Ren tells him good and sends him back to work or whatever. So as he leaves, Jacob pulls out his phone, and he sees all the missed calls from Grayson. So he texts Smitty, and he tells Smitty, you're needed. Go to the hospital now. It's an emergency. So Smitty goes to the hospital, and he calls Jacob, and he's just like, I don't see Grayson. Um, like, I don't see Grayson or whatever. And he's just like, just, check everywhere or whatever. So we see Ren, he calls Leah and he tells her that the job is done and he did it at the hospital. And he says he had to put him down, but he was still breathing when I left. But you may want to go check on him because he probably lost a lot of blood. Make sure you bring another white coat with you or whatever. She was just like, that wasn't the plan. And he was just like, well, if you want to do the punishing, then you do it. Um, yeah, if you want to do the punishing, then you do it. Like, I'm gonna do it how I do it. You do it how you want to do it. So they get off the phone and Leah runs to the stairwell because he told her he did it in the stairwell. So Leah runs to the stairwell to go get Grayson, but all she sees is the blood or whatever. So we see Ashely. She is at home and she gets a call from her mom, who's again being nosy. And her mom mentions Derek, and Ashely gets frustrated. So then Ashely tells her about, her making the dinner of making the dinner for Grayson, and it's a recipe that Shanice gave her, but she forgot something, and then she's flustered because the outfit she wanted to wear is dirty. So her mom is just like, put it in a wash. I'll go get what you need and I'll be over to the house to help you or whatever. So they get off the phone and Ashely is, starting to do the cooking and she hears a knock at the door and it's Grayson. So she she brings him in the house. She wants to call 911, but he's just like, no. Ashely starts asking him a bunch of questions like what happened, but Grayson doesn't want to tell her. He tells her a little bit of stuff, but he doesn't tell her everything. Ashely's just like, I don't know who I'm seeing, who you are right now. She wants him to start from the beginning, but then there's a knock at the door. So she takes him to the restroom and Jan walks in and Ashely is trying to get him out. Ashely is trying to get her out the house and she takes all the stuff and she's just like, oh, thank you, whatever. And then before, like, as she's pushing her mom out the door, her mom notices like her hand and she's just like, oh my God, is that blood? And that's how the episode ends. uh yeah, so that's how the episode ends. So that was a good little episode. This plasma story it's moving along, so that's good. Let me see, did I miss anything? Oh yeah, Smitty had said something about he had got some more intel on Rachel, the lady that he thinks Grayson is working with, and he's gonna, get that information or whatever. And as he's talking, we see Leah running behind, like walking behind him or whatever, because I think this is when she had left the what's it called? Because she had left the stairwell because she didn't see Grayson or whatever. But yeah, this was a good episode. Again, we're moving things along. I think the plasma story is winding down, so it's about to hit the fan. But yeah, that was the episode. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, turning on your post notifications so you'll know whatever I post. Get down in the comments, tell me what you guys thought of this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.